Hello everybody, and welcome to the High Performance Garden Show. This is week 2. We got some exciting little babies to show you today. But first I want to start with our covers. We had a couple of nights down around 22 degrees, and I wanted to show you what I do when I need to protect the plants. So these covers are, this is called a heavy frost blanket, and you can use like the blankets off your bed, some thick sheets, anything like that. And I just put these on at night, and then in the daytime I take these off. Now if you are outside where you have the possibility of rain, then go ahead and put a layer of plastic over the top of your covers so that they don't get wet. If you look on this bed here, you can see this wire. This is just the wire that people use when they're forming cement, like when they lay in cement. This is the mesh. And we cut this into 6-foot lengths and just arc it over, and it has, we made little peg feet on it. It has these little feet on it here that we cut so that it can stick down in the soil. So that's one way to keep the covers off your plants. This is another way. This is our easy trellis, and the plans for this are on the website, so you can go to our website and find the plans for this one. And then this one, right now it's in its lower position, and then you'll see us raise these up. Not this particular one, but the one with the tomatoes later in the season. So that works good to hold the covers off. And then in this one, this is the one with the tomatoes. And I kind of cheated a little bit this week. I actually put my space heater in here. This is just a little ceramic heater. And you guys can pick these up just about anywhere. Now, I do want to warn you, we have, flammable covers and heaters. So if you're going to do this, set it up so it's safe, so you don't burn down your garden, because that's kind of important. But this gives it just enough heat, and as you can see, the tomatoes have survived quite well. So that's my little safety valve for my tomatoes. The other thing that you can do is you can actually string this with Christmas lights. The old-fashioned Christmas lights, the ones that used to get really hot, you can string those in there to heat the plants at night as well. The new LEDs are not going to do you any good because they don't create the heat. So this is just a couple more of our easy trellises, and I just put my blankets on at night and pull them off during the day. Okay, and that's all we needed to take care of this garden through 22 degrees, so that was pretty good. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and take a look at all the new little plants that have come up. Okay, let's take a look and see what's happened in the garden this week. So the first thing I notice is I'm looking at the tomato plants, and they are looking strong. They got good color. They did really well. I kept them with their cover on for a couple days just so that they could get used to being transplanted, and they look really good. The other exciting thing here is the spinach is up. If you guys can look really closely, there's little spinaches, and they are up everywhere in here. I'm just seeing a whole bunch of them. One of the keys to the sandy loam soil is you got to keep this surface moist in order to get the seeds to germinate. So you might actually be out here a couple times if it's a hot day. Water it in the morning, and you may have to water it lightly in the evening just to keep that soil moist. Okay, moving on down. Down here we are in the cabbages. They too also look really good, really strong. They've adapted to their environment really well. And look at all the shigaiku that's coming up. Look at all these little guys right here. And there's just rows and rows of them, so that's exciting too. So that's our first crop that'll come out of this section, and then the cabbage will be a little bit later. So it's looking just beautiful. Okay, nothing that we actually need to do there. As I'm looking at the garden, I'm also weeding. You can tell how many weeds I've pulled. But you want to get yourself into a routine where when you come out to the garden, you check the water, you check for weeds, and you just do that little bit of maintenance every day. Now this section here, this is carrots. Carrots are in the front, and the cucumbers are back here. Now I see absolutely nothing, but I'm not panicked about it, because I know that carrots can take 2 to 3 weeks to germinate, and cucumbers will be probably about 10 days, and we're only 7 days in. So This is fine that this is totally blank at this point, but I want to be sure I keep it moist because I know those carrot seeds are thinking about it. And the worst thing you can do to a seed is to dry it out as it's starting to germinate. So you want to make sure that it stays moist. Okay, and the last section down here, I see spinach coming up. There's a few, let's see, there's a few right there. There's one right here. And then we have our zucchinis. Now the zucchinis are just like the cucumbers. They're not going to be up yet. It's too soon for them. I expect to see them next week. So anyhow, that's about all we need to do for this garden. I'm making sure that I'm keeping it moist and covering it at night when it's cold. Okay, here we are. This is our 3-unit garden, and first thing we got here, these are our little broccoli plants. They are looking good. They took the transplant really well. Now I have a couple of backup plants in case one of these should die. Not everything transplants, you know, sometimes you'll lose one or two, so you might want to keep that in mind. If something would die at this stage, it's no big deal. We'll just plunk in another one. The other thing I see is these are our little turnips. They're coming up. I see them around the edge. So they're doing quite well. The next section down here, this is our kale. And I do see a few little kales. They are tiny, but they've just popped up in the last couple days. And this is about the right timing for them. They're anywhere between 5 and 7 days. And our bok choy is down here as well. And it looks just about like the kale because they're in the same family. So they are coming up. They're cute, look like little clovers. Okay, and I do see a weed today. Oh my goodness. This is so tough. Oh, okay, there, we're weeded. All right, beautiful garden. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and take a look at the other end. Okay, this section right here, this is our Swiss chard. Now, Swiss chard takes a little longer to come up. It's usually between 7 and 14 days. So it's expected for that not to be up, and I just want to keep it moist so that those seeds can work on germinating. The other thing I see here is this is a remnant of a potato that we had last year. So since this is not a potato garden this year, I'm just going to pull that out. Oh, and looky there. It actually has the potato right on it. I don't know if you can see that. So yeah, it's good to have a potato if it's a potato garden, but this year we're not growing potatoes, so this is a weed. So we take that out. Okay, moving on down. Oh boy, I see 3 beets. If you can look right here, this is a little red stem here. That's the beets coming up. Now beets usually take between 7 and 14 days, so the seeds that are a little closer to the surface are going to come up the first. So these are probably a little higher up on the surface. But this whole section has the beets, and it also has our winter squash, which I don't expect to see those for another probably 3 or 4 days. So the garden's doing well. I just got to keep it moist. And we'll go ahead and take a look at the lettuce section down here. Now remember, this is our lettuce that we're growing in rotation. So here we have the plants that we planted last week, and they've adapted really well to this garden. They're looking good and strong. And then this section here we put in seed, and I see just a few coming up. And if you can't identify your seeds, your little sprouts at this point, then don't do any weeding if you happen to see some weeds, because sometimes you don't know what's the plant and what's the weed. But as soon as they get their adult leaves, you'll know, and then you can get in here and weed if you have any weeds. Shouldn't have very many. And then over here, this is our turnip patch, and they are up and they're looking pretty good. So overall, the garden's doing really well. I just need to keep it from freezing and keep it moist and sit back and watch it grow. Okay, we've taken a look at the garden, and now I want to talk a little bit about mulch. Remember last week it was raining and I couldn't get the lawnmower out? Grass clippings is my favorite mulch. This is what I was able to get off my lawn yesterday. And as you can see, there's a lot of dead grass and a lot of leaves just because it's still, we're just not growing much yet, but this will still work. Now, normally I will go ahead and mulch the garden as I'm putting the seeds in, but since the little plants are coming up, I don't want to. But this section here doesn't have any, so if I did put seeds in, I would just lightly cover this to start with and just put the lightest layer on. And what that does is that helps hold that moisture in because I know that a sandy loam soil is a little different than what most people are used to, and it does require a little more water on the surface. So that's all we would do there. Now this other bucket here, this is like a straw, or it's like a grass. This comes from the farm. We have this is what's called swamp grass. And this comes in big long pieces, looks like straw. But what I did is I put it out on the lawn and I hit it with the lawnmower, and it chops it up really nice and fine. So it also makes a really great cover. I could put some of this on top of the beets. They're not up very much yet. So you're going to see us mulching, and then we're going to mulch some more, and then after that we're going to mulch some more. So if you don't want to weed your garden, because I have no desire to weed, you're going to want to learn how to mulch. So you need to find you a source. Grass clippings is my favorite. This little chopped up straw is my second favorite. And if you get the course, we show 3 or 4 or 5 different kinds of mulch that you can use in the vegetable journey. So that's another way you can figure out how to get some mulch. So that's how it goes on, just nice and thin like that. I think we got beets around there too. Okay, so that's our mulch. So I want to talk a little bit about what a high performance garden can do as compared to a regular row garden. According to the USDA, they did a report in 2008, and they looked at average backyard gardens, row gardens, and they were producing about 1/2 pound per square foot in their gardens. Now this garden, it's producing over 5 pounds per square foot. So by growing intensively like this, we can grow a whole lot more in a very small space. But you get this from combining your growing skills, your growing style, and the soil mix. That's how we're getting these plants to produce so much. So in my challenge of growing $2,990 worth of food, I have set myself up in the best garden to actually win that challenge. So these gardens are amazing. Even if you can only do just a little one like this, it's totally worth trying out. So we have a chart on the website. So when you sign up for the High Performance Garden Show, over to the side there's bonuses. And what we have there is a chart that says what you can grow in your garden today. So you can just go over there, click on it, look at the date, and then look at your growing zone. You'll have to know your growing zone. And then you can find out what you can grow. So I want you to go look on the website, pick out some plants that you can grow, and get started. Give it a try. Okay, so another thing that we're going to do on the show today is we're going to have you guys be able to send in your questions. So if you got burning questions on your mind, go ahead and send them to us at info@thelivingfarm.org. The question we have today is, where do I buy my seeds? So my favorite places to buy my seeds is Johnny Selected Seed and Seed Savers Exchange. So we actually did an interview with both of these organizations. So if you want to hear the interviews, they're up on the Living Farm website, and they're really, really great. But I love both those companies. The seeds germinate really well, and we've had the best of luck. So, you know, growing in a commercial operation, and we got the 20,000 square feet of grow space, I got to have seeds that perform, and these ones do. So that's definitely a great place to get your seeds if you need them. So if you have questions, go ahead and send them in, and we'll start running them through here. It's pretty fun. The other thing I want to share with you is the other gifts that my garden gives me. There are so many other gifts that a garden gives me. We had one of our students send in a letter this week that I would really like to read to you, because it kind of shows you the essence of what a garden can do for you. So let me grab my letter. I'll be right back. Okay, so when you get into a garden system that produces this easily and this much, then there's a lot of joy that comes into gardening, and I just want to share with you some of the joy that we've been able to share with our students, and this to me is what it's all about. It says, "Dear Lynn, thank you so much for taking the time to teach the Leafy Greens Container Garden course. The soil recipe you shared is the best. I started planting in October and enjoyed the whole procedure. The back of our home faces a wildlife area with mostly pheasants, ducks, and cranes flying in and out of the area. The city hires a local sheep farmer to chew down the grass between us and the walking path several yards away. This is the setting that my container garden is thriving in. So we bought plastic foldable benches from Sam's Club to put the Walmart containers on. Out came the wheelbarrow, and my husband and I mixed up the soil ingredients, put it in the plastic containers with the cutouts for the mesh-like containers to put the coconut coir in. It was so much fun and relaxing. See, fun garden. My husband retired from the Air Force after 26 years, and we've been married for 53 years. We live in a world of real estate with lots of computer work, paperwork, and relationships with people of all kinds. I found myself enjoying the look and feel of the soil and planting the tiny seeds. It took me back to the farm my parents and grandparents had. We raised Jersey cows, chickens, and pigs. My dad made his living playing Major League Baseball, and during the off-season enjoyed farming for the relaxing, quiet times, driving the tractor, and helping out with the cows. Now I understand why he enjoyed the farm so much. Now our farm is in our backyard, and we're raising spinach, different kinds of lettuce, and Swiss chard. It gives me tremendous pleasure and makes the world slow down when I go into the backyard to cut our salad and vegetables for the evening. This is all because of a curious email from the Living Farm. I have no idea how you got my email, but I'm so glad you did, and there's no turning back. Our granddaughters, age 18, 17, and 15, are being integrated into the whole gardening scene as well. Luckily, you found me in this electronic age to revive a love I had 70 years ago. Again, thank you, Lynn. Okay, I love letters like this because we're able to bring back those feelings she had as a child. She's able to garden again because the garden is easy. So having a garden like this is going to give you a lot of rewards, and if you would like to give this gift to your friends and family, it's really easy to share these. You can cut the link and put it in email. You can share it on Pinterest, Facebook. So below the video here, there's a Share Me button, and you can just grab that link and send it out anywhere you want. The platform that we're sharing this on is the new Kajabi, and the cool thing about this platform is you can access all of the past episodes that you want. You can watch this anytime you want, and you can share this with your friends. So we've made this really easy for you. So, you know, give this gift to other people just like I did for this gal who's reliving her childhood. Okay, so if you want to learn more about the high performance characteristics, the 12 characteristics we're going to use for this garden, you can get our ebook. It's on the website, and you can also take the high performance garden test. So if you have a garden, you can test your garden to see how many of the characteristics that you have. So go to the website, bop around, play with some of our things, read some articles, and start to learn, start to figure out your garden. So I invite you to join us next week where this amazing adventure is going to continue. So until next week, may your garden be easy, fun, productive, and always organic.